Hi, this is a quick intro to NotiTask. NotiTask is an email alert system that processes email alerts from any source of email alert generating devices, like from your BMS system, that's building management system, from your ASA Abloy Wi-Fi locks, from your Centrac monitoring refrigerators and freezers. So basically, any device that can send you an alert that says, "Hey, I need help," or "Hey, this temperature is high," or "Hey, this door is unlocked," or whatever the case is, uh, NotiTask can take that email, extract the information, and create an actionable task for your staff to respond. Rather than have your staff respond to every email, because those devices, they can send you 10, 15, 20 emails within a minute. That'll drive everybody crazy. So what you see in here, excuse me, in this example is the dashboard of one of our accounts, where we have processed so far since November of last year 24,252 emails. Out of those 24,252 emails that your staff would have been responding to, you created 3,500 work orders. This work orders in this particular system, we are integrated with FSI work order system. So the work orders are generated directly from each of the alarm events that are received by the systems designed for this account. If you don't have a work order system to integrate, so you can always use the actionable dashboard, which basically shows all the active alarms. And as your staff responds to them, you can click acknowledge, acknowledge, acknowledge. If it's a critical asset, a critical alarm, there's been specified. It will be highlighted in red so your staff knows how to get those completed first. So back to the dashboard, and this particular work order, this year alone, if we have generated 3,600 transactions, total transactions. But total work order generated, and this is for today only, 16 out of total of 20 alarms. And this is why you saw here that we have a couple of activations that did not have the work order generation enable. And this is because this particular one is under development, so it's not fully yet released. So our system can basically integrate with anything that sends an email, basically. Right now, we have integration for fire alarm system. This is a Siemens fire alarm system for this customer. We have Wi-Fi locks. This is ASA iBloy Wi-Fi locks that you have to change batteries. So this basically the alarms received for the batteries generates a work order. The staff gets to respond, change the batteries, close the work order. Problem assets, you generate work order the same way. The frequency you can document. The hours it takes your staff you can document on a work order. So this is a great tool to justify additional FTEs because of the workload that you are kind of controlling. And this also helps with alarm fatigue. Rather than you have your staff responding to 24,252 emails, they're only responding, or they have responded to 3,556. So that's a tremendous change. Um, we also integrated with Centrac temperature alarms. This is temperature for refrigerators, freezers, and sub-zero freezers for labs. Anytime an alarm gets generated, it goes to the system, generates a work order, it gets assigned to the HVAC mechanic. They get to respond, address, put their time on the work order, close it out, go to the next one. This is great in healthcare facilities. This is what this one is deployed, and also have BMS critical alarms. So if you have critical air handlers that will generate certain um, alerts, you can generate alerts from those emails that you receive from them, whether it's a static pressure, high temperature, freeze stat, faults, you name it. You can generate work orders, send it to the HVAC system, mechanic. You can have priorities. All these priorities, categories, and work trade are mapped into your work order system. So whatever names you have in your work order system is what we configure in this system to kind of marry and cross-reference when we generate a work order. So when you open, and I'm just going to open this one, the test one, because we don't have, I don't want to show the ones that are active. But basically, you have the system that you're going to use, the um, the name of the system that you're doing, a description, a quick description. And this is where the magic happens. So if you have a BMS system that's sending alert, let's say Reno at yourcompany.com, then every email that comes from Reno gets processed, extracted using the parser down here, whether it's BMS, RTU point parser, or AHU point parser. Um, you can basically generate work order based on that. If it's another one, which is, I don't know, as locks, you create another system that will that will receive and manage those emails as well. If you have a single email where everything is coming from, we don't recommend that because then you can segregate, and because you have a parser selecting for different kinds of email, it's going to be hard for the parser or for the system to try to determine which parser to use, and that will add time. And a lot of these things we want to have higher efficiency rate. So we ask that if you have multiple systems, you should have multiple emails. When you go back to here, you can see that all of these systems is sent from VHS. There's basically sends Wi-Fi alert, but they all have different emails. They'll have different email sources, which makes it easier. The work order generation is typical. You enable work order generation, tell them which system to use. If you don't have a floor cross reference based on the location or the information you get from the email, then you can set a default floor where you want it. If the information that you're extracting does not have a location, then you can put a default location. Here it says how often you want to generate a work order. So once a day. If you have an alarm, you want to generate it for that day. If you have that same alarm next day, it will generate another work order. The following day will generate a work order. Because those are different events. So you can set 5 here, then you get all the alarms. It only generates a work order every 5 days, which kind of don't make sense. But it's a little flexibility for those events where you just don't want to generate that many work orders. But I recommended the one so you can have a work. So your staff is responding to every alarm anyway. So it is easier if they respond to that work order rather than all the emails. So one is our recommendation. Here, what we just talked about, this is where you send the work orders to. You can send it active. For the most part, always pending is used because you need to assign it to somebody within the system. The system doesn't assign from here because the system never know who's going to be available for that particular day, so it doesn't make that selection for them. Right now, it uses the API user service user account to generate the work orders, but you can change that from here if you want. Put a requester's name. If this is, for example, a fire alarm system that you're going to be generating work order, you can just put here fire alarm system, and then the description is that I need help with this event. It makes the system as the generator, as the creator, which makes it a little bit AI-ish, I would say, for lack of a better word there. So instruction, you can attach instructions to the work order on the comment section. So you can develop your own instruction in HTML and create them. And then the system, if you want, for example, how to change batteries and temperature sensors. When you generate a temperature alarm that needs battery replaced, include this here, and the guy has that. as part of the work order. They don't have to go online, search how to do it, and all that stuff. Especially, this is great for new staff. Email relay, exactly what it says. You can receive the email and relay to your email group or to communication group here. So this is kind of defeating the purpose if you want to send all the emails that you receive forward, but we typically don't. But in certain instances, you want to just receive the first email, and basically you enable relay, but just send me the first email, and everything else is ignore. But for the most part, client says no, we don't need it. I get in the work order already. That's enough. You can also include a specific email for that particular one, for this particular system. And this particular one, if you receive an email here, he sends it to the emails in the default group, but also sends it to our support team. And you can click it. You can actually, if you have a question about the system, this is the email you can reach out to us. Email reminders. You can enable email reminders, and basically will tell you that, hey, we have received 25 alarms for this particular system event rather, and the work order we generated was this one, but the issue is still happening. Send somebody there. It's a level of escalation. Basically, it escalates when an alarm is not addressed and you receive 25 or more alerts. So once it reaches 50, it will send another email just like this, because it's every 25. A receive rate. So if you have one of those systems that will, once the batteries run low or something, will generate a ton of alarm, a ton of emails. Well, this tracks that. If you have a system that will generate 25 emails within a minute, it will send you an email say, hey, something's going on, but this particular device is sending a lot of emails. Somebody's got to respond to this. And this is in addition to this particular one, which this one will trigger as well, because you're at, this one doesn't care about the rate. It just say, hey, you got 25, I'm sending you this. But this one says, if I'm getting 25 within a minute, then I'm sending you this one too. Hey, this is a problem. So basically, you get two alerts, and it is basically informing you that something's going on. So it's a great level of escalation. And if you find out that the system is bad, that something's wrong with it, but you can't really address it at the time, you have to keep it, I don't know, the way it is for a couple of hours. Then you basically, whatever information is extracted, if it's a room number, if it's an event like fire alarm supervisory or air handler static pressure, you can put that information here. So what it does, the system will look with the information extracted. If it exists in the problem area of this system, then we're going to ignore it. So then it stops generating work orders and stops generating relay emails. It basically ignores it and it tracks it as a faulty device. And this is some of the ones that we have done. It's like this rooms happen to be Wi-Fi locks that they are acting up. They were sending emails like every minute or so, and it always generate work orders. Just say, you know what, these are problem assets. Mark them here. Ignore them for now. But if you need to generate a work order, you could. We don't recommend it, but you could. And if these systems are also, let's say if these systems here happen to be refrigerators, let's say these are refrigerators in this room, let's make this critical. So whenever you get an alert and the system received from this location that's extracted from the email, it marks it as a critical asset. And that is when I said earlier when I got here that you're going to see a red line across here saying, hey, this is a critical asset. You need to send somebody to respond. So that was basically a quick intro of how you set up a system. You can have, as you can see, you can have multiple systems. Each of this system, they'll have different emails. So you can track and extract information differently to every single one of them. Makes it very easy. You allowed to have 15 systems within your account. If you're thinking that you have a lot more emails to manage, then we can put you in a different plan where we can give you a dedicated resource, and you can have an unlimited amount of system that you can basically use this for. Um, yes, we can definitely integrate with any CMMS system that is API enabled. So all we need is the information you got. This is perfect here. So you see this here, doc type. So this particular system had an issue right now, and I'm not gonna click on it because the video is getting a little too long. But we'll go through this in the future videos where when information like this is received and the system was unable to extract the the information. And this is based on the parser, right? So if we go here, let me look at this quick. When we come to the parser, give me 1 second. Um, so in the parser, we're using centric parser, and this is what we do. If we put a run a test, so the system is using this reg expression to identify the location. But before he uses the reg expression, is going to say if the system has CHR or BBR or dash or whatever, I want those replaced with this here. So for example, CHR is replaced with nothing, so basically it takes it off. BBR is replaced with nothing, is basically takes it off. This space dash space is replaced with just space. I mean, with just dash, and the same as this one. Dash is just dash. So based on this, you'll be able to extract the information. When the information is not extracted, that's when we have an issue with the system that says, "Hey, you know, we couldn't find this location." The good thing is that when the work order is created, if you see doc type, it's an alert say, hey, we couldn't parse this particular message. Let's look at it and see what we need to change. This happens a lot when you have an integration done, and this is particular Centrac. When they set up the alarm, they didn't use the same format for every alarm. So when you set up the parser to parse a specific format on that alarm, then when you see something different, it doesn't work. It basically takes doc type, which is the very beginning of an HTML email. Um, but but all the information is passed on to the work order. So when you open the work order, you still see the information. And you know what? Let me see if I can do that right now. So this is the work order. And you see the doc type here. And this is the email that was sent. But this is the information down here. Right here. It tells you the whole information right there. And that's all we got. I apologize for that. That's all we got for now. We'll fix that. And I apologize for making this a little too long, but hey, the more the better. So this is a quick intro on NotiTask and its flexibility and how we can manage alarm fatigue and resources while tracking and documenting all the hours and minutes of the day. So thank you. If you have any questions, you put it in the comment section, or you saw the email within the system. Send it over as soon as you can. We'll talk soon.